First at 11 o'clock, the snowy scenes at picturesque Bernheim Forest today, 20 minutes south of the Gene Snyder. Open to you for a great wintertime hike tomorrow right here overlooking the giant meadow. You can also check out the flocks of geese landing at Lake Nevin right here, or even the giant trees that lead you to the gravesite of the founders themselves, Isaac and Amanda Bernheim. Well, bundle up. It's going to be a polar weekend fit for the Super Bowl. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Friday night. I'm Doug Proffitt, joined by Chief Meteorologist Mallory Snell right here with us. And really cold, Mallory, before the warm-up. What do we have, 48 hours or so to get through?
Yeah, we just have a couple of days here before we really start to see things melting. Temperatures tonight will plummet into the teens. That's going to be by early Saturday morning. We should actually have a bit of sunshine for Saturday, but we stay below that freezing mark. Sunday, we begin to warm, especially from the southwest, so expect temperatures in Louisville in the mid-30s, but we'll continue to drop down below freezing, so we'll have kind of a little bit of melt and refreeze Sunday into Sunday night. Temperatures right now remain well above that freezing mark, so the melt is continuing for now, but we do have much colder air that's going to roll in from the north here. A few flurries look possible. The snowbursts didn't really pan out too much. I don't think anybody's complaining there. We will see these clouds decrease through the morning hours, and you can tell the hourly planner really showing those temperatures plummeting just after sunrise tomorrow morning. We'll talk much more about the big melt that's on the way next week. That's coming up in our 7-day forecast.
Mallory, thank you. The top story on the night team, the dramatic moment playing out in a Louisville courtroom. A man facing a judge cusses at her and then makes crude comments. In the end, the judge on Monday went against the jury's recommendation and cuts his time spending in jail in the future by more than half. WHAS11 night team's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Levi Hammer report on the controversy over this kidnapping and sexual assault decision.
Seconds after the start of a hearing deciding the future for Christopher Thompson.
Before we even get appearances, Mr. Thompson, I'm gonna need you to be respectful.
I ain't doing nothing.
Well, it's fine. Okay?
What?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Spit on you, I would.
At the end of the day, I'm the one with the pen.
Sentencing day for the 24-year-old found guilty of kidnapping, robbery, sexual abuse, outbursts in court, all among the charges from July 2023. LMPD found DNA connecting Thompson to the robbery and sexual assault of a woman in southwest Jefferson County. At the time, Thompson was on probation and on a diversion program after being charged with having a stolen firearm and fleeing police.
Judge, I think I have an obligation to ask the court to consider a sentence in the 20-year range, which would be the minimum as he has been found.
Mr. Thompson has shown nothing but extremely egregious conduct in this courtroom as well as the underlying crime itself. I mean, this was one of the most offensive cases that I have handled.
The jury recommends a 65-year sentence to the judge, but instead, Judge Tracy Davis went much lower, 30 years, citing his background.
Mr. Thompson never actually got the opportunity to get any type of treatment, whether that be mental health treatment, whether that be anger management, etc. Unfortunately, he fell through the cracks and ended up before this court.
She made this ruling after talking over Thompson and acknowledging a lack of effort to change.
It is just a shame that you can't look at all of these things and say, as of today,
You can't tell me
February
how
the
I look at
2nd
anything.
of 2026, I want to be a different person. I want a better outcome. I want to be an asset to society.
Republican Metro Council member Anthony Piagentini has been vocal about decisions from Jefferson County judges.
And this is endemic of the complete lack of support the judiciary in Jefferson County is given to the people to keep them safe.
Thompson will finish serving his time when he's 54 years old. He's not eligible for probation or parole. In Louisville, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
Thompson is going to be back in court in March for assault charges that he got while he was in jail, in custody. Jefferson County Commonwealth's Attorney Jarena Weathers also reacting to this decision, saying, quote, "We are disappointed that the court deviated from the sentence for less than half of what the jury of his peers determined was appropriate for this dangerous defendant." Tonight on the night team, just a few hours ago, aboard Air Force One on the way to Florida, President Donald Trump commenting for the first time on the racist cartoon he posted before midnight last night of the Obamas. Two Republican candidates for Mitch McConnell's U.S. seat in Kentucky are backing the president. That's also new tonight. But Democratic Congressman Morgan McGarvey of Louisville blasting his move, saying the disgusting video Trump posted is blatantly racist and he knows it. The noticeable silence from my Republican colleagues is cowardly and complicit. Call this out for the vile racism it is, from Morgan McGarvey. We begin now with the president's brand new remarks, the audio aboard Air Force One and ABC's Karen Travers.
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things, I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. It was a very strong post in terms of voter fraud. Nobody knew that was at the end. If they would have looked, they would have seen it, and probably they would have had the sense to take it down.
The White House today facing backlash, even from Republicans. President Trump's Truth Social account posting a video, which ABC News is not showing, portraying former President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama on the bodies of apes. It was on the president's feed for hours. The post was eventually deleted, but only after outrage from some of the president's most staunch Republican allies, including the only black Republican senator. South Carolina's Tim Scott reposted the image, writing, "Praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it." Republican Senator Roger Wicker writing on X, quote, "This is totally unacceptable. The president should take it down and apologize." Earlier today, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt pushed back on what she called fake outrage, but the White House now says that a staffer erroneously made the post. The racist image was at the end of a minute-long video the president posted on Truth Social. The first 59 seconds described debunked election conspiracy theories from 2020. At the end, the video suddenly cuts to an animated meme showing the Obamas' faces on the bodies of apes. Images of black people as apes have been used throughout American history to dehumanize them. Slave traders and segregationists used these types of images to depict black people as inferior, and at times it led to violence. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Now, also new here tonight, Republican Senate candidates Daniel Cameron and Nate Morris, who are running for Mitch McConnell's U.S. Senate seat, responded to the comments from the Post. Daniel Cameron saying, quote, "The White House made clear this was an accident. You didn't hear anything from the media when the left ran these about me," end quote. Then Nate Morris saying, quote, "I'll never fall for left-wing media hoaxes against President Trump and will always have his back to defend him from these unhinged smears manufactured by the left." More local news and new information tonight about a shooting that happened in front of Mixed Lounge in Jeffersonville, Indiana, a month ago on January 3rd. 18-year-old Bryce Grant Martin tonight is charged with battery after an altercation that involved several people at different locations through southern Indiana, eventually leading to the bar. In the end, police have now determined that 60-year-old Joseph Glenn was acting in self-defense when he stepped in to calm down the situation. Police say Glenn fired several shots toward Martin after he was first hit in the head by Martin. No one was killed, but Glenn was injured when he was hit in the head. Grant Martin is charged with aggravated battery, intimidation with a deadly weapon, and pointing a firearm. Today, students across Kentucky are organizing walkouts in protest of recent ICE shootings. During school hours, the walkouts happened today. Now, we have received calls and emails today about several walkouts. A few Jefferson County public schools are on the list: Grace James Academy of Excellence, Silver Creek, Butler Traditional, Eastern, Fern Creek, and Manual High School. Southern Indiana, New Albany High School and Plainfield High School, which is closer to Indianapolis, also walked out in protest. New Albany Floyd County Consolidated School Corporation did post to their Facebook in response to the walkouts. They said they encourage students to express their views outside of school hours and saying, quote, "NAFCS is not affiliated with any planned activities put on or around the community." Your voice, your vote. Now back to that Senate race. Who do you want to see replacing Mitch McConnell, who's retiring? Two new independent polls out say a big chunk of Kentucky's GOP voters have not yet made up their minds on who should replace the outgoing senator. Congressman Andy Barr of Lexington was in Valley Station today, urging voters to choose him. Barr turned heads this week after turning on fellow Republican and Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie, throwing his support instead behind Massie's opponent Ed Galrine of Shelbyville. Southern Jefferson County is a longtime Democratic stronghold. Andy Barr says this is important in races like this.
This is the part of Kentucky, part of Jefferson County really, that is emblematic of the transformation of our party.
Many Republican operatives believe a Trump blessing seals this primary, with Daniel Cameron and Nate Morris also working to win the president's support. New tonight on the night team, former Jeffersonville Police Chief Kenny Cavanaugh has filed to run for Clark County Sheriff as a Republican ahead of the filing deadline today. In Indiana, he'll face Republican incumbent Scotty Maples, who was first elected in 2022. Maples is running for a second term in the May primary. Nearly 6 months ago, Cavanaugh abruptly stepped down from his role as chief of the Jeffersonville Police Department last year, citing ongoing struggles with police contract negotiations. The Ohio River continues to spread its icy grip. More on the phenomenon from nature we don't get to see very often around here. But first, a new ransom note has come to a local TV station in Tucson, what the FBI is saying tonight in the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. And then later, a local making a new poster this year here in Louisville for the Kentucky Derby, his inspiration and where you can find it on the WHAS 11 night team, coming your way a little later on.
And here's a look at today's Kentucky Lottery jackpots. Mega Millions, $346 million. Powerball, $102 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students.